Now, what are the budget control tools we are preferring to use in our organization? The first one is cash budget, or we can say cash flow budget. So here we are trying to understand all the resources that may result the cash inflow as well as outflow in monthly basis or weekly basis or everyday periods. Another tool is capital expenditures budget. This budget is going to establish to understand the considerable costs that may occur to acquire major assets. For example, plants or machineries or buildings or lands and so on. Another budget is balance sheet budget. So here we are going to forecast the organization's assets as well as the liabilities of the organization that the organization is going to meet or face within the expected period of time. Then sales and revenue budget. So this one is going to help us to understand the income of the organization that is expected from the regular normal operations. So as the expenditure budget or expense budget. So that is going to give us the idea that in the upcoming period, what are the expenses the organizations have to carry on. Profit budget is just to give us the idea about the expected profit. So here we are trying to find out or figure out the difference between revenue and expense. Labor budget. Labor budget is going to give us the idea about the available hours for direct labor that the organization can use. Then space budget, that is available space for various patterns of activities for the organization. And production budget is going to give us the idea about the expected number of units that would be produced during the upcoming time period. Another aspect of financial control or tools are financial statements, balance sheets, and income statement. Financial statement means it's a statement where organizations' financial circumstances are presented so that we can understand each and every aspect of the financial issue from the organization's profile. Then balance sheet. Balance sheet is nothing but the list of assets, liabilities, and equities. So it is a summary of the organization's financial condition where more details about liabilities and assets are placed in money terms. Another important financial tool is income statement. Income statement is another summary of financial performance where the main focus is revenue and expenses. For 1 year, what are the different revenues that came in the organization and what are the different sectors where the organization make the expenses, and after the revenue and the expenses, what is the condition of the financial condition of the organization, whether it is facing profit or loss, in what amount, we can understand it from the income statement. Beyond these three important tools, there are two other activities we have to perform to keep the control on financial aspects. First one is ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is the assessment of different aspects of organization to show the proportionate relationship among the different aspects of the organization. For example, if I want to know the proportion of expense in relation to asset, that could be known as ratio between asset and expenditure. So this is how with each and every aspect we try to understand the ratio or proportionate relationship. That one is known as ratio analysis. Then financial audits. Audit is done to understand the overall financial, operational, and accounting system of the organization. It is an independent appraisal of the organizations, and through this process, we try to understand that we are keeping record in a proper way and we are doing our operation by following all the legal aspects and maintaining the legal procedures. So there could be two pattern of audits. One is external, that is done by the expert parties uh, from the external environment. It is done to ensure the organizations transparency. Another one is internal audits. Internal audit, the objective of internal audit is to ensure that we are keeping the documents or records in a proper way, so that when the external auditors will come to find out the organization's financial activities, then there will be no flow. There will be no flaws or no problems. So internal audits done in a very frequent basis, and if it is accurate and efficient, then we can say that in case of external audit, the organization is not going to face much problem. To ensure that one, we actually go through with internal audits. Now move on structural control system, which is done by the mid-level managers. So here the organization is going to place two pattern of control system. One is bureaucratic, another one is decentralized control. Bureaucratic control means the control will be done centrally. That is, from a single point, the entire control system will be maintained. Whereas decentralized control means each and every unit of the organization is free to establish their own control mechanism. So let's go and discuss in a little bit depth. So in case of bureaucratic control, we can find that most of the instructions are coming from the top level, and down level is just responsible to maintain those rules and regulations. So sometimes they are placing some rewards or punishments to influence the employees to act in a certain way. They are going to place the rules and regulations, and employees are obliged to maintain those policies, rules and regulations. Sometimes it's very difficult to maintain the bureaucratic control because you may have to take some quick decisions, but here you need to wait from the instruction for the instruction from the central office, and it's a very formal procedure to place the information and to maintain the information. So there is no informal way to establish the control mechanism or take any decision. So in some situation it is good, but in some situation it is not worthy. If the organization, there could be a question then why we are following this bureaucratic control mechanism, because there are some situation or there are some organization where the employees are not capable to direct themselves or take any decisions, so they have to rely on the instruction from their bosses. So in that case there is no other option rather than maintaining the bureaucratic control. So we can find this control mechanism mostly in governmental organization, because government wants to ensure the uniform practice in throughout the organization, and there are so many formal structured steps that government have to take to keep the records as well as maintain the protocols. So that's why they are going to follow the bureaucratic control. We can also get this pattern of control practice in business like garments, where the most of the employees are not highly educated, and in that case they are not capable to direct or motivate themselves. So there they have to rely on the instructions of the organization. So in this pattern of organization, bureaucratic control is maintained. Then decentralized control system. Here, each unit of the business is going to be considered as an independent system. And this subsystem is going to be interconnected by the central system. So here, consider the example of Telenor, that is a worldwide telecom industry, who is operating in different countries. So they are maintaining a central control system, obviously. But for example, if the branch of Bangladeshis have to take some decision, then they can take it internally. But for major decisions, they have to communicate with the head office. But they have some freedom to take their own decision, and sometimes they go with some informal control procedures to maintain the proper flow of the operation. So this is the benefit of decentralized control, but it cannot be applied in each and every organization. To apply the decentralized control system, the organization must ensure that the education level of the employee, the capability of the employee to take the decision is good enough so that they can rely on their decision making process and so as the control procedure. So there is the end of this chapter. We are not going to discuss the strategic control in this chapter, and to go more depth knowledge about control procedure, you can get it when you are going to take the major courses in management. And up to this, we are going to close this chapter and so as the course. And students, if you are going to face any problem, just come in our consultation hour so that we can discuss and overcome the problems. And up to this, here we are going to close the formal lecture of this chapter. So best of luck, stay safe, and take your preparation for final exam. Thank you everyone.